Next item.
Okay, next item. Tab K.
No, tab L. Recommendation to name Marlene.
Tab L, yeah.
Recommendation to name Marlene Bastien to the North Miami Citizens Hall of Fame.
Public hearing is open on tab L.
Evan Ross, 1941 South Oak Haven Circle. I came tonight not knowing that this item was...
Where is that? Is that in North Miami?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not in the city.
Okay.
Glad to have the city nearby, but not a resident. I came tonight not knowing that this item was on the agenda, but having seen it on the agenda, there are few people I can think of in the class that Marlene Bastien is in. The work that she has done for North Miami and the surrounding communities, the selflessness she continues to show in helping immigrants, specifically Haitian immigrants, in helping women. She is not only a fantastic choice for the North Miami Citizens Hall of Fame. If there were a human Citizens Hall of Fame, Marlene Bastien would be an easy first ballot selection. So I thank Councilman Marcellus for having this on the agenda tonight. I would only imagine this will pass unanimously. I know how highly all of you regard her, as I do. Thank you.
She was your student, Esther.
Esther Blinn, 1990, Northeast 118th Road. Marlene Bastien was my student when I was a professor at the School of Social Work at FIU, where she got her master's degree. It's an honor to see her name as a nominee, and it's an honor, as I always say when she invites me to her various events, to have a student excel their teacher. So I hope you give it strong consideration. She's a fine woman.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I'm here. My name is Hans Marty, 11905 Northeast 2nd Avenue, North Miami.
Okay.
And I'm here in support of Marlene Bastien. For the past 21 years, Marlene has established Femme Haitian in Miami. Femme Haitian in Miami is a non-profit organization provided services to the needy throughout South Florida. Please, ladies and gentlemen, consider her name because she's an icon for our community. She's fight from birth to death. Whatever issues, Marlene Bastien is in the front line. Ladies and gentlemen, please consider her. North Miami would be great to have her in the frame of honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marty.
Good evening. My name is Daniel Fizeme. I'm the treasurer of FAM for Mali, and I'd like to support Marlene Bastien as the executive director. And on behalf of the board of directors, I'd like you to approve Marlene Bastien. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Here, none. We are engaged in council discussion. Councilman Blinn.
Excellent choice.
Okay, Councilman, well, it's you're the maker of it. Councilman Gavin.
Marlene, you are awesome.
Okay, Vice Mayor.
No question.
I mean, I'll definitely, this is a great choice. Not only that, sometimes we hear about only, residents of this great city, although Marlene does not live in the city, but I think she has impacted this city more than, some of the folks that were previously nominated to the North Miami Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. So many of our children, so many of our, women, fighting for those issues. And I think, recognizing Marlene to the Citizen of Miami Hall of Fame add to the value and the people that have already been nominated to the Citizen Hall of Fame. So I'll definitely second that sponsorship. I don't know if you have anything else to add. Anyone wishes to work at the no.
Wait, I'm sorry, man. Who motioned it?
I make the motion.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
Anyone wishes to work at the no. Hearing none. While we're on Marlene Bastien, from ICN of Miami, Haitian Women of Miami is having the 20th anniversary Dancing Under the Stars reception that is happening at Little Haiti Cultural Center. I think she said about 80% of the women that are getting help from this organization, they are here in the city of North Miami. So I would ask the city council to make a contribution to this great event that she's having. So is anybody, is it a problem if we make a contribution of $15,000 to this great event that she's having?
$15,000?
$15,000?
50,000?
15.
Did she have a sponsorship package?
It's not a matter of having a sponsorship package. I mean, it's up to you guys. I mean, I asked for $15,000. If you guys want to do less, there's an organization in the city that we give $50,000 to that's serving the city of North Miami. I mean, she's been here. We didn't give any money through the CDBG program. We didn't give her any money through the general funding budget. And I think this not only would help the event that she's putting together, but actually raise money for the organization so she could continue to serve the residents of North Miami. So anyone would like to would like to amend that motion, a friendly amendment to give her less?
I'll motion that we give her $1,000.
Yeah. Councilman Marcellus?
And I make another amendment. And let's give her $5,000.
$5,000. Vice Mayor?
I second that.
You second $5,000. Anyone wishes to record a no?
No.
No.
Okay. Motion passed. Tab M.
Recommendation to name Farah Juice to North Miami Citizens Hall of Fame.
Another great addition to the North Miami Hall of Fame. Councilman Blend?
Who sponsored this one?
Councilman Marcellus.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, Councilman Blend?
I know nothing about her. I never met her. She hasn't been here?
Excuse me?
Has she been here?
Yeah, she's been here many times, and she addressed you several times, at that podium and also at this podium there.
Where's her daycare center located?
Don't just sit there.
I'm sorry?
Didn't we just pass a resolution that the mayor can actually have two? Is the mayor sponsoring it or Mr.
I believe it was Marcellus.
Didn't we just pass a resolution that we only can sponsor one per year?
That was
and that
already the
mayor-
resolution.
Right.
So it stands. The resolution is that you have one per year.
Right.
That's correct. That's correct.
So the question is this, because we just approved Ms. Bastien, which was also Councilman Marcellus's nominee, are we still able to approve this tonight?
Yes.
Can somebody else actually, what is yes?
Did his first resolution affected immediately?
Listen.
I got the notes here. Accordingly, the mayor made it clear that apparently you guys was going to make an exception for the two names that was on here.
Okay.
And so there was an exception made, but after this meeting,
Everyone.
The exception made what, by resolution about your?
No, that was in the
mayor said?
resolution when you guys voted on it. When you guys voted on it, he made it clear that there was going to be an exception
To
and then to the current vote. So
Right.
this would take effect.
Oh.
That's what the mayor said.
Okay.
No one said no.
Okay, I don't know what an exception is, Mayor, but you have a resolution that says one. If you want to change it to say three, then you do
we're
that.
not changing-
If
we're
you
not-
want to violate it, then violate it. But
Right,
you
but
have
that's-
options. You can stick to the rules, or which is what I'm recommending.
But listen,
What are you recommending?
I thought I
The-
asked the mayor to clarify this.
Right, we
thing.
did, and that's exactly what we're doing. We are fine with that. The motion was made by Councilman Marcellus. It was seconded. Anyone wishes to record a no?
No.
Okay.
Also.
I don't pass.
My no is only, not because I don't recognize Ms. Just, she is another outstanding nominee, but I got the interpretation from our city attorney right now that this was in violation of our earlier approved
Tab
resolution.
N.
So from
Discussion with-
Yeah.
From now
From
on.
now on,
How many?
one per council members and two for the mayor.
So
Starting in.
why you didn't just take it? Why you just?
Okay. Tab N.
Discussion regarding Haitian Cup 2013 soccer tournament at North Miami's Athletic Stadium.
Okay, this soccer tournament has been going on in the city of North Miami for the last 13 years and never been a problem. Councilman Bland.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that until was informed that we misrepresented the information to me from the city. But I do want to discuss one thing, and I'm very much for it, and I've even been to it, matter of fact, and that is the time limit on the amplification. I would like to, once again, bring this subject up because I didn't second your vote. To my fellow to my right, Councilman
So
Galvin,
what do you
because
wanna
there
do?
was some controversy going at the time. But I'd like to say that because of the information I got, how the sound carries such long distances and disturbs the people living at the Oaks, that it should be cut off at 10 o'clock. And I also like to indicate our sound ordinance that whereas does not include city-sponsored events, to change that to sporting events, amplified announcements only as customary for the play of sports. In other words, unless it's a sport event, everything else should be cut off at 10 o'clock. You can't cut off a sporting event at 10 o'clock because they might be announcing a football score.
All right. All right.
But
So you're going to
everything
take that,
else,
you're going
yes.
to take that off the calendar? Off the agenda? Off the agenda? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm talking about the previous.
What is in about?
What do you want to do? I mean, are you,
I want
since you
all I
got the
want
new-
to do have us vote to stop the amplification at 10 o'clock for the understanding that it disturbs our citizens, and it's not that important in this event. It's a sporting event. If it was just pure sporting, it could go on beyond 10 o'clock. But since it's music, it should be stopped at 10 o'clock. That's my motion.
Mr. Blinn, why didn't you ask this be advertised as a vote on the sound limits so that
Because
people
it was
that
very
didn't-
controversial at the time. You and the mayor were arguing over it, and I didn't want to participate.
But
in
but
your
the-
argument.
But I have to be
I
consistent.
didn't want to participate in your argument. I let it go.
No, but for tonight.
And I didn't fully appreciate the situation.
For tonight, the question I'm asking is, procedurally, why did you ask this be scheduled as a discussion and not as a vote on the time? The mayor and I just had friendly words about his discussion item. Why
Because
are you asking us
in the
to vote?
14 years I've been on here, we have voted on discussions numerous times. It's become an ordinary way of doing business.
No, it's not ordinary, though, Mr. Blinn.
Yes, it is.
It's not. Okay,
I
I'm
have
gonna vote for
14
yours.
years of
I have
experience.
a question. I have a question.
All right.
May I,
Before
Mr.
you go
Mayor?
on, you made the motion. No one seconded the motion. Motion died.
No one
Citizen-
wants to. You
No.
don't even want to second that, Councilman?
Okay.
That's your own motion.
No.
you
Here,
can
here's
do
the
that
difference.
for
Please don't put words in my mouth. When I
you
brought
do
this
that?
forward, 2 weeks ago, it had nothing to do with the event that was happening at the stadium. It was the change of one word that would simply make city events have to turn their noise down at 10, just like everybody else. It had nothing to do with the Haiti Cup tournament.
But this is a concern of our citizens. That's why
Trust
we can
me,
discuss your motion at the next
I'll be
council
glad
meeting.
to put it back on the agenda in two weeks or whatever. But here's the thing: we have to be consistent. We can't keep putting stuff on here that nobody knows what it's really about, and then we big reveal like it's some game show and tell everybody at the night of the event what it is that we're doing.
Councilman Galvin, this is not $1 million. This is simply an amplification that is hurting the citizens, and we all
I'm
know it's hurting the
consistent, and I'm consistently consistent.
It's not $1 million
Okay.
situation.
I have a
Alright.
question.
The motion wasn't seconded, so motion died. You have a question before we get into citizen forum.
With the city attorney, how many meetings we have before election? At least I know.
Can we cancel them all?
How many draw?
We have two each month, so we have 2, 4, 6 left.
6 left.
4.
Four left.
First election in May.
March and
Yeah.
April, yes.
First
We
meeting
have
May.
4
Okay.
left.
So I know what to expect in 4. Okay.
No problem. Okay. Citizen forum.
Oh my God.
Good evening, Carol Keys. I'm up here now speaking on behalf of Keystone Point Homeowners Association as its president. At our meeting this past week, we passed a resolution requesting that the Avenue, 18th Avenue between 123rd Street, Northeast 18th Avenue between 123rd Street and possibly as far north as 131st Street, be studied in order to lower the speed limit from 30 to 20 or 25 miles an hour, and also to install calming devices. I have been in touch with, this is our resolution, and this is what the Board of Directors unanimously agreed. I have just wanted to report that I have been in touch with staff, and they have been most cooperative, Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Galvin actually forwarded this to the county, and the county informed me today they will be doing a 6 to 8 week study to see what they can do for us. Right now, the 18th Avenue is behind the LA Fitness. It used to be a little pass-through for local residents. It's now become a speed bypass, people racing to class, businesses there. This street is not wide enough, is barely wide enough for 2 cars. There is no place for pedestrians to walk. There is about a 4-inch curb and about a 2-foot strip of grass where people walk their dogs. And I recently noticed this because I've been walking to the gym, and you walk in the street and the cars come up behind you, and it's so dangerous. And just in the past month, we approved a Wendy's going on that street also, and the rear of the Wendy's and their drive-through is going to be letting out on Northeast 18th Avenue. So I want to thank staff for your quick work and response, Councilman Galvin for sending it. Now there's a question whose street it is, but I'm bringing this up just to put our resolution on the record, and also to urge Mayor and Council to help us along and, you know, be positive so we can, it's a fatality waiting to happen, so I appreciate it, and any support we'll appreciate. Thank you.
Citizen forum still open.
Annie Montgomery, 2082 Laurel Lane. I just want to make an apology to our manager. Last week I had an occasion that I got very upset and expressed my feelings very firmly to him, and I wanted to apologize openly to Mr. Johnson because he was very gracious. He took care of the problem within an hour, and I want to thank him also. Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Good evening. My name is Kevin Burns, 2065 Alamanda Drive, North Miami. Been a resident for a long number of years. An item came up for discussion early this evening about what the city clerks, as the supervisor of election, to verify the residency of future candidates. I believe that the city clerk has much more powers, unspoken powers, to make sure a very basic requirement to be elected into this city or to be a candidate, very basic one, that the simplest thing of having a residency for 1 year. I believe each and every one of you up there could very easily verify that without a doubt that you've lived here and you live where you say you live. Of course, the community has the right to elect people who truly live in the area, not fraudulently, that produce leases. And so we put a great deal of trust into the city clerk's office. And I would hope that the city attorney's office and others would lend as much support to the city clerk that that office could do the utmost best to reassure the residents that all the people who would like to seek office in North Miami are actual residents. I knew that at one point in time the city clerk's office was thinking about a little bit firmer justifications of stuff, because what's disturbing and what has come up has been reported on local radio stations where somebody for a particular office said, nobody cares that I don't live in North Miami. Everybody's doing it. Who cares I live in Plantation? Who cares that that was one thing? And then, of course, there's other things that will come to light later on as people who actually qualify for office or allegedly qualify for office. Once they sign on the dotted line and attest that that is what they're doing, that people don't live in back rooms, that they don't live in 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom houses, all of a sudden just magically appeared. You know, I always like to tuck my daughter in at night, so I live in that house where my kid lives, not somewhere else. So I think that the city clerk has more power than what he actually believes. But I think that it is imperative among the leaders of our community to stand up and say, you're not going to come in and defraud the residents of North Miami and not be a true resident of North Miami. To turn around and tell people that how they're going to live, what codes they have to follow, how you're going to spend their money, yet you don't live in this city, and you're going to fraudulently try to do it, just be aware that North Miami, we never tolerated it in the past. I don't think it should be tolerated in the future. But there's old saying that if you let something go by and you know it's wrong, but you didn't voice an opinion about it, you're just as guilty as the people committing the crime. So that I hope that as we move forward, and once again, I look forward to the day where individuals sign on the dotted line, and hopefully that the city clerk's office can verify it to the best of their ability. And then we move forward with some spirited election season coming up. But again, I hope that Mr. City Clerk, that you were going to present some stronger language that you're allowed to produce. I hope that you bring it forward because it's in the purview of the City Clerk. Thank you very much.
Good. Citizen Forum is still open.
Good evening again, Mr. the Mayor and City Council members. I did not realize you have only 4 more meetings to go. The city will miss you guys, and you have done a great job. No, not you, not you. Those who are gonna go, those who are gonna go.
You cannot say those. I'm the only one leaving.
No, you're not the only one, sir.
You're not the only one?
You're not the only one, believe it or not. You're not the only one. There will be open seats, therefore there will be other people that got to go. Hey, there will be some change. And I'm here tonight to let you know, guys, you have done a great job. Sometimes the city got is up and down. And the entire 60,000 residents of the city of North Miami are watching at you. And they count on you because it's election season come. Everybody want to have a good election in North Miami. The media is looking at us, and I know you guys are going to be doing a good job to keep the city moving on, and then to make sure that the election is coming, that we're not going to divide the community, but that will put us together for North Miami to move forward. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
That was Hans Marty, for the record. He didn't.
Esther Blinn, 1990 Northeast 118th Road. With regard to the elections, I certainly hope that people who are running for office live where they say they live and not are just making an opportunistic bid for an election where they do not live. I think part of running for office is a commitment to do good by the city, but one of the major things that I would bring to your attention, which I do not believe passed, but might be reconsidered by the council, was to provide postage for absentee ballots, the way that the county has done to avoid ballot fraud, absentee ballot fraud. And it would be nice to believe optimistically that no such thing exists in North Miami or North Miami Beach, but to be realistic, I'm sure it exists everywhere, and this would enable people to receive their absentee ballots and not need any economic assistance to put postage on it and mail it themselves. So I ask for the next council meeting for you all to, somebody to reconsider who was on the no voting end to bring it up again. Thank you.
Citizen forum is now closed. Council reports. Councilman Darvin.
I was going to ask for a report on the water bills, but I'm going to leave that off and hope we can come up with something at March 12th. But I just want to throw out one suggestion, talking about a PAL building and the money that we received from the county for a pool. Maybe PAL can be located at the former Pioneer Gardens Rux Park site, and the new pool could go in at Cagney Park, that northern annex. We got $5 million from the county for a new pool, and then we're looking at Rux Park, and there's some environmental issues. Maybe the simple switch is to put PAL over there and put the pool at the park, and everybody's happy. And it's just an idea I'm throwing out for future consideration.
Through the mayor, councilman, I can answer that question. That particular site, through the grant money, was for Aqua Type Center. So we're in the process of proceeding on with the plans, the architect and engineering, to later present before this council. As far as switching it around, and speaking to our previous city manager, Russell Benford, it would not be wise to try to change, because those funds, we would have to start the process back over.
Okay.
And it would jeopardize us in our position.
If you still think you might be able to get it done at Rux Park, that's cool. I just know there's a lot of talking about kids in the community and their needs. There's a lot of people who would like to see the pool come back to the area, and that's, I was just thinking off the top of my head. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's all I've got.
Councilman Marcellus.
No reports.
Okay, Councilman Bland.
Yeah, let me briefly tell you that we've just renewed our membership of National League of Cities. There's a Miami-Dade League of Cities, there's a Florida League of Cities, and a National League of Cities. The Miami-Dade League of Cities 10 years ago voted to get 20% of the half-penny sales tax, and that money has given the city of North Miami, over the last 10 years, $15 million. The Florida League of Cities has helped us with our bond program. We've done bonding and utilities and other problems they've helped us solve. And the National League of Cities, that they list 10 things they do, which I'm the only one who seems to ever go to the meetings. But
What meeting is that?
the meeting in November, yeah. They keep you informed. They have policy and advocacy committees, which I'm on 3 of them. They have events in Washington. I'm going to Washington shortly, next week. And they stay tuned to the senators and the congressmen. I see senators and congressmen every time I'm there. And I make sure that the money that basically gets from Washington to the cities, the 2,000 cities, is not reduced. That's what we argue with Congress every year. And we've done a good job, even with the Republicans, and holding that money should be reduced every year. But we won $7-8 billion each year. They sharpen your leadership skills there. They also given us a discount card program for drugs. They have a procurement program, which I don't know if we participated in. I've told you about that. They have a public finance authority, which they deal with cities on. National citizen surveys. They'll give us a survey of what's going on in the city for very little cost. And they have a purchasing alliance. Have we ever participated in that?
Not to through the mayor and councilman, not to my knowledge.
Yeah. Well, and they have other courses. I'm on a leadership committee that's taught me over the last 10 years the compromise, and which I do every time I'm at a meeting here. And I haven't missed a meeting in 14 years, and I've compromised as much as I can with everyone.
Yes, you have missed one meeting.
I've never missed a meeting in 14 years.
Yes, you have missed one meeting.
I'm afraid you're wrong. Anyway, it's very important that we continue membership in those 3 leagues.
Councilman Marcellus?
I said no.
Oh,
report,
you said
sir.
no report. Okay. Vice Mayor?
No report, Mr.
You have no report? Wow.
No,
Well,
I
I take your report.
Yes.
Council Vice Mayor is celebrating Women History Month here in the city of North Miami. She put a committee together, and basically, I think starting this Thursday or Friday, which is March 1st, all the way up to March 28th. She has a line of women that will be honored, that will be receiving awards in this great city of North Miami, including, I think just today we got a letter back from the Secretary for Department of Homeland Security, Janet Napolitano. She said it's great that you're actually doing that, honoring women, but she has other engagements. She won't be able to make it to the city of North Miami. Last year we had the deputy governor here in the city of North Miami. Congresswoman Frederica Wilson has already committed, and I think we have a couple of commissioners that already committed, and there's so much going on for Women History Month in the city of North Miami. I think all the information will be posted on our website. So those of you that want more information about that, go ahead and look at the information we have on our website. As I continue to say, I think President Obama said it every single year that women is getting 25% less paid than men. I think, it was worse 20 years ago, but it's getting a little better now. But we need to advocate and push for women for equal pay. And thank you, Vice Mayor, for taking the leadership in honoring women in the city of North Miami. I wish I was a woman for the month of March so I could be honored.
The rabbi was a woman for one night.
That's right. We have the 5K run walk that is scheduled for tomorrow, beginning at 3 p.m. at the Salison Community Center.
How far is 5K?
5K. 5K is 3.1 miles. If you run it, it's about half hour. If you walk it, it's about an hour. So I think it's a good time. There will be a bunch of other residents out there to be part of this 5K run walk, which is scheduled for tomorrow. Those of you know that the city, along with Senator Oscar Brennan, we had the press conference yesterday. There was a bill that was filed in the state senate, which is called the Discipline Free and Fair Democracy Act. Which basically we had the Haitian Women of Miami, the Haitian American Grassroots Coalition, Florida New Majority, and many organizations. We had the press conference at the North Miami Public Library, and all of you know who Ms. Victor is. She was the young lady that was honored to sit in with the president when she spent countless of hours in long lines waiting to have the opportunity to vote, and I think she was the oldest one here in North Miami. And to outline what's happening with, having to vote on time, Senator Brennan filed the bill, and hopefully he'll get support from the state representative to file a similar bill in order to get this passed, and we could finally move forward. So that's all I have for the report, but I think, I'm gonna, maybe we could either put this back for further discussion, but really I think the section in the library where we actually dedicated to voting, I think we should name that wing of the library the Discipline Victor Voting Wing. So on the March 12th, okay, so you second the motion?
Second that.
Okay, motion has been seconded. Anyone wishes to record a no? Okay, here none, motion passed. Discipline Victor Voting Wing, which is the part of where we vote at the North Miami Public Library.
Maybe
I know
community room would be better?
Excuse me?
Maybe community room would be better?
No, the
voting wing?
But we have to, vote has to be, I think, Discipline Victor Voting Wing, which is the ring that is dedicated to. Right. Okay. So I know she's going to be honored here in the city of North Miami to the North Miami Hall of Fame. She's going to be honored at Women History Month. She also wants to be involved with what we're doing in the city of North Miami. So thank you so much for supporting this young lady. That basically her son said, her son, I think, no, my wife said the reason why she get a chance to live that long because she doesn't have any children and she didn't have to deal with men with, she didn't have that much stress. So, thank you,
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. City Manager.
Just a thought, it just occurred to me, we should note the passing of Dr. Stein, Louis Stein.
Died at 109.
Yeah.
109.
For those of you who come to the city's Memorial Day and Veterans Day event, you've seen the last several years a staple of the event, Dr. Louis Stein, a retired, I think he's U.S. Army Major, and he passed away.
7.
He passed away early in the month, but we just found out about it this week, a couple of days ago. He was 109 years old, so we salute you.
And he's been a fixture to the Veterans Day celebration here we have in the city of North Miami. And also our condolences to the passing of the mother of the executive director for the North Miami Chamber of Commerce, Ron Wilson. I think his mom passed away last week or 2 weeks ago. So our condolences to Mr. Ron Wilson. Mr. Manager, I got a letter here from a resident saying that thank you to Ms. Tanya Wilson-Sejoux and your transportation manager, Mr. John O'Brien. She said that she was trying to get an issue resolved in the city. She expected, the red tape, bureaucrats. Instead, what she found, it was attention and efficient services. And she said ultimately her problem was handled, and she would like to let you know how happy she is with the responsiveness and assistance she received from Ms. Tanya Wilson-Sejoux and Ms. John O'Brien. She also CC'd this letter to Councilman Marcellus, and I think you probably got that letter in your box. So just pass that along to Ms. Tanya Sejoux and Mr. John O'Brien. Okay. Mr. City Manager, any reports from you?
Yes. In regards to the report that I was asked to bring to this council meeting, this is, of course, the water rate study will be on March 12th. But in terms of our billing, I spoke with High Cotton, which is the company that does our billing. The conversion process has been completed. All of that issue has been resolved. Staff is now quickly moving forward. They will be working double hours over the next 2 weeks to get caught up. So we're pleased to announce that at least the conversion component is now working. Mr. Paul gave me an outlook. They did put a plan of action together to make sure that we get those bills out.
Okay, no problem. But, that's one thing that you don't say is that in the past, we have been guesstimating what the water bill should be, and we send them out to residents. I mean, what you're doing and your team is to make sure that, we go in there and do right by the residents of North Miami. So that delay, in the past, what they usually do, just guesstimate what it is without going out there and verifying the information and send it out. And you guys have documents to prove that. So, sometimes you have to say, well, yeah, we have a problem now, but, the way it used to be done in the past, it was worse than that because it was guesstimated.
On March 12th, we'll be given at least 15-minute presentation, and that information will be
given out. Okay, no problem. Ms. City Attorney?
Yes, very briefly, I just wanted to clarify something for the record. In the last meeting, there was a discussion from several people that were requesting fee waivers for use of our facilities. They have provided updated information. As you recall, several months ago, you passed by resolution and updated guidelines to how you want to handle fee waivers, donations, and so forth. And so under those new guidelines, the people that came to the meeting last 2 weeks ago have Pierre Toussaint Leadership Learning Center. So that I don't defame anyone's good name, Beth Moshe Congregation, and Lively Stones for Jesus Ministries are all compliant. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. City Clerk, any report from you?
No report.
Okay, no report. Thank you all for coming out.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion to adjourn. Meeting has now been adjourned. Thank you. I know.